I have a whole lot of plants hanging in this window, and I thought maybe you'd like to see what they are up close and personal. So join me.
Liquid Amber Girl gardening.
Alright, so it's not too sunshiny outside. Hopefully the backlighting won't be intense at all once I get up close to show you my plants, but let's start down low with this beautiful Hoya. And it is a carnosa of some kind. The new growth comes in with a pinkish cast, and it is very full and happy, loving life. These windows are east facing, and so it's really great. Nice strong morning sun, but not so strong that it scorches any leaves or anything like that. So this is just a year old maybe. Doesn't have a whole lot of crazy growth on it, and I do have to be real careful to always rotate this plant every time I water, so that I don't ever have leaves just facing one direction or anything like that. Everybody gets sun, gets their turn. See, it does kind of go down, but such beautiful leaves. I love it. And this is pretty new to me. This is Peperomia, hold on while I get it right, Frost. Peperomia Frost. And I have a real obsession with silver leaf plants, and look, they're just beautiful. I love all of the ripple peperomias anyway, as you'll see in this window, because this window is basically all peperomias. So spoiler alert, but anyway, it's pretty new. I haven't potted it up yet. It's still in a nursery pot there. And when I got this one, I also got this. This is Peperomia Mini Watermelon. And I'm not really sure where the name comes from. The leaves aren't, I mean, they're not like super small or anything. They're not way smaller than my actual watermelon peperomia leaves. They're a completely different shape. Similar coloring, just not as drastic as a traditional watermelon peperomia. So where the mini watermelon comes from, I don't really know. But it was a ripple leaf. It has nice textured leaves. It's pretty. It's a peperomia, so it's here. Both of these plants, the Frost and the mini watermelon, both came from Tennessee Tropicals, which I was really pleased with the fullness of the plants because they are really nice specimens. They're very healthy. They've done beautifully after shipping, but I will say that shipping was super expensive. I got just this and this, and I think I paid $22 or something in shipping. And then when the box got here, I had to write a check for another like $11 or something. And it was because I have no idea why. I don't understand the post office rules or anything like that. But and to end the story, I paid a lot of money for the plants. They were expensive compared to other places. They were, and the shipping was absolutely out of this world expensive. So, but you will get healthy plants. So you can make your own mind up about whether or not you want to try that journey yourselves. This teeny tiny, see how tiny this pot is? Here's my hand. Teeny tiny little pot. But I love this. I don't know if it's a raspberry ripple or something along those lines, but it's just one of those little tiny ones that people use in terrariums. And I was actually buying plants to make terrariums, and I bought this for myself. So here it is. It's really new, like maybe 2 weeks old, or 2 weeks since it's been here. Sorry, not 2 weeks old. Okay, so right next to it I have a string of hearts, a variegated version. And this will be interesting to you maybe because I have another variegated one that I will show you up here. And the comparison is really weird, kind of. This one is getting some nice large leaves on it. It was completely inside the pot when I got it and opened it. I did a video of this and a not variegated version that I got from Succulents Box, who I highly recommend, by the way, if you are interested in getting one of these. But we'll just look and see how they compare to each other. And then this is a Hateora. I'll just have to put the name on because it's one of my epiphytic plants, and he's got a lot of new growth going on and seems to be doing pretty well. Okay, coming up from there, I have 6 plants in this side of this window, and this is a double-decker macrame plant hanger that I made, and it was basically just so that I could fit a lot more plants in this window. It doesn't have perfect lighting because we have an air conditioning unit in there, and so I can't really set plants here over in front of it because the air will be blowing on them. So I had to make a different way of getting plants all stacked in here, and this is how I did it. So this is a Hoya kentiana variegata, and the new growth seems to be coming in kind of a bright pink. Here's another little pink leaf over here. Oh, you can't tell. See, it got bright outside, but it wasn't a little bit ago. Can't win. And again, not very old as far as how long I've had it. Probably, I don't know, a couple months. And I painted this pot. Isn't it beautiful? It's like a little bit black, a little bit purple. And I thought that it kind of picked up the pink in the new growth, and that's why I decided to use that color for this plant. And up above it, I have a brand new to me plant. This is called Begonia Super Curl, and I got this one from Steve's Leaves last week. So it just got transitioned into this pot. I left it for a week in its nursery pot. Begonias scare me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I have killed quite a few of them, but my research seems to support that with this kind of a leaf, and I'll show you one that's a little bit more mature over here. It actually takes on this curl, and it's such a beautiful color, isn't it? That if you have a begonia that has those kind of curled leaves, like an escargot or any of those, that they require a little bit more light than you would traditionally give your begonias. So he's been in the window for a week. I haven't had any scorched leaves. I haven't had any drooping, wilting. I do have a little bit of brown here. You can see it, it's backlit right there. And that, I think, came through during shipping. So everything else looks healthy and really kind of happy. So wish me luck with this one. I have a couple more coming from Steve's Leaves, by the way. Another ripple peperomia. This one isn't, I'll look down. So I'm standing on top of a cedar chest, by the way. It's not as pink and purple as this one. It's more like a deep blackish purple, which I also dig. I love black plants, black leaf plants. Has some blooms. It's been happy as a lark. I got this one in in the winter time in Canton at a, I live in Ohio. I got it at a nice little garden shop there, and it has been a real happy plant. So the top part of my double-decker macrame is the other variegated string of hearts. So you can look and see this little section. Come on. This other section right here, I had some die off, and we just have these little, and they're pretty pink. I mean, they definitely have colored up in the sun here, the east-facing sun, but they don't have the size of those other leaves. They're really small. And I've had this plant twice as long as I had the other ones, and came from the same place. So not really sure. They have basically the same kind of light because there's a lot of space between the top of the window here So it's getting light like directly on top, as well as the leaves that are pendant, that are hanging. It is in terracotta, whereas this one is in a plastic nursery pot still. So that may be a contributing factor. I'm not sure. If you have any ideas as to why this one would not be doing quite as well, I would love your opinions and advice. Next to that is Peperomia elongata. And I had this one when I did my peperomias in the kitchen. This one was one of them in there. I love this plant. It's so low maintenance. If you like a low maintenance plant, okay, too much backlighting. Let's go this way. There you go. If you love a low maintenance peperomia, this is your friend. This one is just beautiful, waxy, shiny leaves. And then these leaves are just gonna get bigger and longer and more beautiful as it ages. I've had it, I think summertime will be a year, and it's just happy as it could possibly be. Down below that, I have, this is a philodendron. I think I might have shown it in a plant haul video, but it's a silver philodendron. I'm gonna put the name on the screen because I don't know it and I don't have the plant tag in here. Look at the shiny silver sections on the leaf. It does look just exactly like a satin pothos to me. But the nursery where I got it had a different tag on it, so I'm hoping that it's correct. It hasn't done an incredible amount of growing, but I also haven't had it for all that long. And it is partially shaded by this big piece of wood that's in between this window and this window. Anyway, this is also a really wonderful, nice, no fuss kind of a plant. And I really like to, I have this one planted in, it's terracotta, but it's like a gray color. And then to complement it, I have purple. Oh, backlighting. I have purple macrame, a purple macrame plant hanger here. You just can't see it. I'm so sorry. I really didn't think that the lighting would be this inappropriate, but it really is. And so I have two other things to mention. We have a robin building a nest. You can see right there through the dirty windows. And then the other reason our windows are so messy is because of a video that I did earlier that I will try to remember to link. Now I can't get it to focus on what I want it to focus on. See the little black dots? Yeah, there it goes. Those are from artillery fungus that was down in the mulch down here. And I did a video about just like what artillery fungus does. And it was also a cry for help if anyone could tell me how to remove it, because you can't, it keeps going out of focus. But like these ones right here, I've actually been on a ladder outside trying to peel these off, and that's like a greasy remainder that you can't get off. I don't know. It's crazy hard. To the other window, I told you this was a peperomia show, and it sure is. This is, I thought when I bought this plant that I was buying that. So that one is the Peperomia Pearl. Is that right? No. That is Peperomia Frost. This is Peperomia Pearl. See, it's still on there. Huh. So much smaller leaves. It's also blooming. Those crazy Peperomia bloom stalks, they just crack me up. Crazy looking. It does have a silvery leaf. Very pretty, but much, much smaller and a completely different shape than the Peperomia Frost has. And this one has red undersides to the leaves, and Peperomia Frost does not. So it's it's got a lot of differences, and it was something that I really couldn't tell differences when I looked at the pictures online, but when you see it in person, it's completely clear that this is not the same plant at all. All right, moving next door to this guy. This is Peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles. I've heard people calling that recently. I didn't know that was a thing. I just got it because I thought it was really charming. I got this last summer. There's some more blooms here. All my peperomias have been blooming like for weeks. I don't know how long this is gonna go on, but they're really, really cute. So it's gotten pretty long when I bought it. Better lighting here. When I bought it, the stems were all way up high. Up here. And now they're down here. And I'm looking forward, and that was just like in off-season growth. So now that we're into spring, I'm looking forward to these getting maybe some size and probably a lot more length on them too. It's a real easy little plant. I like this one. All right, finally, another plant that is not a peperomia, but it is silver, so it does fit the silver theme. Look at those leaves. Isn't that so beautiful? I'll probably insert a picture so you can see just exactly how beautiful these leaves are when they're not being backlit in a window. But anyway, this is a Pilea, Pilea pubescens silver cloud, and it is lovely. This is a thirsty plant compared to my peperomias. This is a real thirsty plant, and this came from Steve's leaves as well. Below, and I'm not going to say anything bad about Steve's leaves, but I do have a boo-boo down here. So this is, bless you. You're welcome. This is peperomia. Well, I don't know what this is. It is a peperomia. It's kind of a gangly one. All the growth goes kind of wild. It'll shoot out like a super long stalk and then put out some growth and then do another one. And I don't know what this thing is doing. But when I bought it from Steve's Leaves, I bought it as parallel peperomia because I really would love to have a parallel peperomia. And that's not what this is. What is this? Peperomia peresci foliage. Whatever that means. This is definitely not a parallel peperomia. And, but I enjoy it all the same. It's very, very pretty. It does kind of have papery leaves like a parallel peperomia can tend to have, but not quite as thick. And obviously it doesn't have those really dark lines down it. So maybe someday I'll find one of those. And let's move on to the next, which is right here. And this is my non-variegated string of hearts. And this came from Succulents box. And again, I've made all the macrame plant hangers here. This one is like a silver floss. It's real pretty. And this one has some pretty good pendant shoots. But it had a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit hanging over when I got it in the fall and made that video. So, and it has these over here. It's a nice little plant. Really is. Very low maintenance. And I think it's just going to be one that I love to have hanging here. And then I have one more plant left that we've all already seen probably because I've also done a video on the care of, this is Xerosicyos danguyi, and it's silver dollar vine. Looking a little dusty, my friend. And it's done really, really well. Send out all of these shoots. And these were cuttings that my husband bought me. And here's what the babies kind of look like. They come up just real small like that. Kind of flat. And then as they age, they thicken up and turn into those real kind of puffy paddles. It's a real nice houseplant. If you've ever been thinking about it, I bought cuttings and I did really well with them. It's just going to keep filling out like that, and then if I want to make a bigger, thicker plant, I'll just take cuttings and stick them in the soil. I'm actually thinking about moving this though to a different window because this is east, and Xerosicyos can actually take a west window, a south window. They can take like full hot sun. So I'll probably take this and make room for other plants there, or maybe more plant hangers coming down. I don't know. Why don't you share your opinions with me on that topic?